Good afternoon, friends, and we are back again with our Facebook Live. And today we have Dr. Shamashish Bandyopadhyay, Senior Consultant Physician and Rheumatologist, Director Medical Services, Apollo Hospitals, Kolkata. Sir, we would be discussing about bird flu since it's in the news and people are scared. So we'll discuss bird flu in details. So the first question that comes to us is, what is bird flu and where is it happening in India?
See, bird flu is a variety of an influenza virus. Now, bird flu does happen in our country almost every year in some pockets, and this time it is happening with some more vengeance currently in 4 states of India: Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, Rajasthan, and part of Madhya Pradesh. Now, it can happen in various parts, especially in areas where migratory birds come, because it has been postulated that the migratory birds often bring the virus from outside. As you know, currently Australia is having a lot of bird flu cases. So it is possible that the migratory birds brought the virus, or it is also possible that the viruses stay dormant in the population of the birds, and in winter time, when naturally these upper respiratory viruses, the influenza viruses, are in rise worldwide, these viral epicenters crop up. The reason why it has become important is that simultaneously in 4 places lots of birds are getting infected, and there is a concern that this might jump the species and infect the humans. That's why these concerns are there.
So the next question that comes to our mind is, how has it come to us?
As I was sort of pointing to you, is that it's often the indigenous bird population where the viruses stay in an endemic way, and only in the winter months when the influenza virus natural epidemics or happen in various parts of the world, the same thing has happened. Why it has been so important is that we are still under this corona pandemic, we are still reeling under the coronavirus. So another virus has really made all of us worried, including the common population, and that is why you are doing this program. Otherwise, as I have said before, these type of flus, they stay in the community in a low-key status every year.
What are the risks linked to this to us?
Now, normally the bird flu viruses, they don't jump the species, meaning that normally bird flu stays with the bird population itself, and that there are culling going on all over those 4 places I have already mentioned. I'll just highlight one, like in Kerala, last week 37,000 birds have been culled, because the government is trying to isolate those birds and reduce the spread of infection. There is some evidence that H5N1 variety of the virus may infect humans as well, and that is the risk for us getting infected from the bird flu virus overall.
Should we restrict ourselves from eating poultry? As in, should we eat poultry?
Now, the answer is that if we are having cooked poultry, then there is no problem, because these are heat sensitive viruses. So what you need to do for poultry consumption is that you need to clean your eggs from the bird droppings. What happens that the outer surface of the egg has got some droppings of the bird contamination, and that carry that virus into your home. So if you clean the eggs very well, then that is one way of restricting entry of the virus into your home. The second thing, do not please consume raw eggs or raw poultry meat, because then you run a risk of having a virus infection. Get the egg and the meat properly washed, cleaned and cooked, and then there is no chance of virus transmission, because these are very heat sensitive viruses. You have to understand one other thing in this regard, that this influenza virus is transmitted by fomite and droplets, very much akin to the coronavirus. The transmittability of this influenza virus is more than the coronavirus. So what happens that because of increased transmittability, influenza viruses can be transmitted more quickly and more effectively than the coronavirus. So just by adhering to basic principle of cleaning the poultry product and cooking it properly eliminates the risk of viral contamination.
If a human being is infected by the bird flu or this virus, what are the course of treatments that are possible?
Right, good question. I've got a clear answer. The influenza virus is, as I said before, is more easily transmittable than coronavirus. The incubation period of influenza virus is also less than the coronavirus. So if somebody unfortunately gets infected with this virus, then it is easily checked by the same sort of PCR test what we use for corona, the same sort of influenza corona tests, influenza PCR tests are available, and it is amenable to antiviral treatment, which is also available widely in our country. So treating these is possible when detected, diagnosed, and start of the treatment is done early. So there is nothing to panic from treatment part of.
Finally, as we conclude this session, what would you suggest as strategies to cut down the risk?
Now, what coronavirus has taught us, what you and I currently we are doing, is wearing the mask. The same thing with influenza virus, because it is transmitted by the same way of fomite and droplet. So washing hand, cleaning hand after touching surfaces, cleaning the surfaces the same way, and using mask will prevent person to person transmission of the viruses like it is doing for the coronavirus. One has to understand that these viruses are upper respiratory tract infection causing viruses. They are all from the RNA virus community, and their transmission, the way of transmission is very much the same. The symptomatology is also quite similar. I must say they all produce flu-like symptoms. The other thing, as I have said, that one has to be cautious in procuring, especially the poultry products. Now currently in corona epidemic, we are all practicing the mechanism of chilling things before we actually bring it at home. So even if we buy something, we normally allow that thing to chill out for a few hours or so and then bring it home. So the same principle will also help this virus. And for poultry in particular, clean the surface of the eggs, clean the meat and the egg properly, and cook it properly. Not running egg, as we call it. That means the yolk has to be properly cooked, and that will eliminate the viral contamination, because these are heat sensitive virus. So proper cooking and the common practice we are all accustomed, hand washing and mask, is what we need to fight this battle.
Thank you, sir, for spending time with our audience here. I'm sure they would have more questions and they would be sharing them here, and we'll try and get them answered by you or your team. And we look forward to having such wonderful sessions with you again.
Thank you very
Thank you
much
for your
indeed.
time.